Skills on the platform, back at you with another read. This is going to be for the sign of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, and North Node. Also Capricorn, this is your past, present, and future energy read. Your 3-card spread for the week of February 21st, 2022 to February 28th of 2022. All right? Though that is the time frame, these readings are timeless, can apply at any point in time in the future. Also, Capricorn, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you like this video. It doesn't cost you anything to do so. Also, if you need a read, you comment. All right, ask for a read. We can schedule a time that'll fit for the both of us. And subscribe. Become a skilled one. Become part of the skilled nation. All right, and hit that bell notification so you can receive all these videos in the future. Let's go ahead and get this reading underway for our Capricorns. All right, let's see what energy Capricorn is in for today for our Capricorns. Alright, what energy is Capricorn in for today and for this week? Alright, perfect. Alright, let the cards fall where they may as I shuffle them. Alright, there we go. Past energy, the High Priestess. Okay. Capricorn, your past energy is the High Priestess. Okay. Current energy. Princess of Cups is your current energy. Capricorn. Future energy. All right. Future energy is the Blasted Tower. All right. All right, Capricorn. Let's decipher this for you and figure out what's going on with your energy for this week. You were vibing high, Capricorn, with the High Priestess, right? In your past energy. And then you went into the energy of the Princess of Cups, creation, right? And then the Blasted Tower, and then some type of destruction came in the future. Now, this channel is about giving solutions, so this is not etched in stone, right? This may apply to no one, this may apply to few, this may apply to many, right? But this channel is about solutions, so we're going to figure this out, definitely. Let's go. So, the High Priestess energy, right? Vibing high, flying high, major arcana, right? So, the trajectory of your read, from the looks of it, Capricorn, it's going in a downward spiral, right? And let's figure out why. Well, how we can figure this and clear this up and give you your heads up for this week and what to avoid, okay? Only thing I could say to you is, to start out, is you were in a good energy previously, in the past. Try to pinpoint where you were doing the best in your life, okay? And try to figure out what was going on in your mind at that time, right? Figure out who the possible people you was dealing with at that time, and you know, those are the kind of people you may want to have around you versus the people that you may be dealing with currently, or even going into the future, right? Even the current energy is not so bad because it's still in a creation mindset, in a mode of creation. Okay, now the High Priestess, she's the ultimate manifester, right? It doesn't really get any higher than the High Priestess except the Hierophant. Okay, now Let's go. The High Priestess. The Princess of the Silver Stars. Alright. The moon appears above the seated priestly figure of Isis, the eternal virgin. She is adorned in the purest feminine light. Okay. She's adorned in the purest feminine light of the moon. The same light that serves as a veil to hide the moon. The same light that serves as a veil to hide the eternal spirit. The high priestess holds upon her knees a book, partial concealed by her mantle. I'm sure my lighting is good. Okay. Which holds the truth behind a veil of feminine light at her breast. She holds a lyre, the law of Artemis. She is also a huntress, and like Diana, she hunts by enchantments. Okay. The card rules the path of the camel that runs from Kether to Tiprith in the tree of life. The same path runs between the two gigantic pillars, besides the throne upon which the high priestess is majestically seated. The high priestess controls the energy of life between the two pillars that are topped with spiraling pinnacles. Okay. At the bottom of the card are the large spheres at her throne. Some researchers suggest seated figure in this card is the illustrious, controversial Pope Joanne, who allegedly reigned during the middle of the 9th century. The meaning of the card in your past energy, Capricorn, is change, okay, alterations, fluctuations, wisdom, sound judgment, and common sense. In the reverse, it means ignorance, short-sightedness, lack of understanding. So the only thing I could see taking you out of this energy, right, is being in the reverse, which is in a form of ignorance, possibly listening to the wrong people, okay? Short-sightedness, not seeing the full vision of what was put in front of you, okay? Also, the lack of understanding, right? Certain things that you're just not getting, which could take you out of this energy, okay? So be careful of the company that you're keeping. I'm going to say that first. Also, the Princess of Cups, which is your current energy. Now, the Princess of Cups of the Palace of the Floods, the earthly part of water. A beautiful figure similar to the attire of the Princess of Wands stands in a turbulent sea of foaming spray. Nearby, a large dolphin, 2 swans, and a tortoise. The regal dolphin represents the power of creation, right? So creation is all around you. You have the ability to create, especially coming out of the energy of the High Priestess in the past, okay? The swans are the Oriental philosophy, suggesting Amun, the symbol for the entire creation's process. In Hindu philosophy, the tortoise supports the elephant whose back sits the entire universe. Rules the quadrant of the heavens above the North Pole, meaning the energy is sweetness, poetry, gentleness, reflective, kind, and dreamy, imagination. In the reverse, it means a flatterer, selfish, luxurious, and deviations. Right? So I would say this is that the reason for the tower is because tower pretty much means change, right? It's major though, right? You went from a one major move to a minor into a major move again. But the major move going into the future from the current energy, right, is pretty different. It's a greatly different shift, right? Because you went from the high priestess, right, sitting on change, okay, is the key component of the high priestess. She's big on change. She's a huntress, so she goes after things, right? Now, being that the princess of cups, she's more laid back, right? She's not really a huntress like the high priestess, so it seems like you kind of deluded yourself in a sense, right? You fell back as to what you were doing previously, which put you in the high status that you were in before. So you stopped doing something which puts you in a lower energy of the Princess of Cups, because you go from a priestess to a princess, right? No, nothing's higher than a priestess, okay? Also, even kings and queens take advice from the high priest and the high priestess. So you've actually dwindled down your energy for some reason, possibly to deal with certain people where you had to even dumb yourself down, right? Never dumb yourself down for anyone. I'm going to say that off top, okay? Let's see here. It also speaks of sweetness, poetry, gentleness, reflective, kind, dreamy, and imagination. So you went from a state from absolution to a state of imaginary. So you started to be more childlike in a sense, right? Be more trusting. But sometimes you can't do that with everyone. Not everyone deserves for you to be able to let your guard down and for you to kind of move to a point where you're not really being responsible in a sense, right? You got to be very careful of who you're dealing with, because some people will lead you astray and lead you in the wrong direction, which potentially why the tower has come about. But the tower does mean change. It doesn't necessarily mean bad, but it can be, right? It depends how you interpret it too. Okay. Also, let's see here. In the reverse, it means a flatterer, selfish, luxurious, and deviations. Also, someone deviating you from your initial energy, or you allowing someone to deviate you from your initial energy. You were stronger in the past, but then you seem like you got a little bit more comfortable, right? Possibly with certain people you were dealing with. You know, in this energy, you were probably dealing with an earth sign like yourself or a water sign. Okay. Right. So an earth sign you probably dealing with was a Taurus. Okay, another Capricorn like yourself, or Virgo. Okay, or you were dealing with the water sign, a Cancer. Okay, you were dealing with either a Virgo, or excuse me, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Right? Either a water sign or earth sign you were dealing with, which caused you to go from a higher energy into a lower energy, and then eventually into the blasted tower going into the future. So only thing I would tell you is to avoid the blasted tower, right, is for you to focus on raising your energy, right? You want to be in a high vibing energy. You want to be focused more on your higher self than your lower self, right? Because you go from because look at her attire. The Empress is all covered up, right? But the Princess of Cups, she's not. She's got her chest out, so she's a little bit loose. She's more, out there like that, right? The Empress is covered up. She's not out here with her breast out. Okay? So what I would say to you, Capricorn, is, there's probably certain energy, certain people that you're involved with, right? I'm gonna say possibly let's see here. Let's get the breakdown on the tower. Okay? Let's break down the tower card and we can elaborate. Okay, the blasted tower. The Lord of hosts of the mighty. The Lord of hosts of the mighty, okay, A blast of lightning renders total destruction and clears the way for new forms to emerge. An outline in the tree of life appears on either side of the tower, the Sephiroth, black on one side and white on the other, suggesting the wide scope this card covers. The symbols for Mars appears in the upper left, the card meaning ambition, fighting, war, and courage, destruction and ruin, change, breakdown of beliefs, okay? Continued oppression, following old ways, and entrapment, right? This is how you need to avoid this energy, Capricorn. And you know how you avoid it? You elevate yourself spiritually. Focus more on your spiritual side. Because the only reason why the trajectory is going in a downward trajectory for you, right, is because of this. The fact that you know how to be in this higher form of energy. You understand some things on how to be in this high energy, right? You also understand how to be in this lower energy. Because look at her, she's comfortable. Her chest is all out, right? She's a little bit more loose with it, okay? Which being loose with it, being too loose with it, right, can cause destruction. Not only of your situation, but even yourself. Okay? So you got to be careful who is influencing you. Clearly, you were in a high vibing energy in the past. So focus more on how things were used to be. Because if things were better for you in the past, I'd suggest that you focus on getting back to that. It was working out better for you then versus going to the future. Right? Because if you continue to go into this energy, this free energy, this loose energy, just kind of out there, not really caring too much, chest all out, and it's like, going with the flow of things, with the water going, right? Just kind of going with the flow, you can find yourself in this blasted tower in the future, and even in the near future, okay, where there's destruction. But nonetheless, when there's destruction comes, there's some type of change. So change could be good or bad, right? It could typically, change is change, right? But nonetheless, is that change could be a real serious lesson for you, right? And could eventually put you back in the energy of the High Priestess and humbling yourself, right? But yeah, so all I'm going to say is to you, Capricorn, and the conclusion is focus on being in your higher self versus your lower self. Because you're able to get more, do more, and have more when you're in a high vibing energy. When you're in an energy of, being free and loose and all over the place, things tend to kind of go crazy and you lose control. The High Priestess, she's under control. She controls her environment, her situation, and everything around her. Right? But the Princess of Cups just kind of just goes with the flow. Going with the flow with things, that means you don't have control. And if you don't have control of your life, that means someone else does. And if someone else has control of your life, they can lead you into destruction in the future. That's the conclusion of your read, Capricorn. Capricorn, if you found this beneficial in any way, shape, or form, definitely donate to the channel. All amounts is greatly appreciated. When you sow in the good soil, you reap great fruit. Now, if you can't sow it to the channel, that's fine. Just like this video. Okay, that's going to definitely assist us. A like doesn't cost you anything at all. Just like this video and also subscribe. And if you have any questions, if you want to read, definitely leave a comment in the comments. If you try to send me an email, I might not get it if you want a reading. So go ahead and do that. You can just go ahead and leave a comment if you want a reading. All right. But yeah, that concludes your read for the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn, these readings are timeless and can apply at any point in time in the future. Peace.